All right, welcome back to another episode of Over the Shoulder. You guys know what you got to do. You got to like, you got to subscribe, you got to comment, you got to share. Who do you want to see sitting in this opposite chair other than me? Now, as for who I have today, I have a legend,
A legend.
a legend. I call her she's my goat. She's my goat. She's been with me since day one, A1. We've done so many projects together. It's an honor when we step on a set together. I just feel like we've gotten to the point where it's just, we don't even need words to connect. We telepathically are just speaking and just making things happen. And every project I've ever done with her is just, it's close and dear to my heart. So you know her. She's been on several episodes. So the fabulous, the extraordinary Tamara.
Oh, Enoch, you be hyping me up.
Listen, I be telling the truth, okay? That's what I be. So, it's always when we get in, it's me and you. We be so locked in. It's just like,
Yeah.
it's really just out of all the friendships slash like working relationships and I'm being on set, you are just top tier. It's
Oh,
just
thank you so
from
much.
your energy to your professionalism, just to like even you know me, we both Aries. So we don't like to be checked, but like there's very few people who I allow to check me, and you are on that very small list
I'm
where
glad.
if you say something, it's like I will stop and be like, okay, maybe I'm tripping. Like very few people I'll be like,
And that's a strong maybe.
that's a strong maybe.
Maybe
Maybe
I'm tripping.
I'm tripping. But yes. How are you doing today?
I am wonderful.
You are wonderful, wonderful.
Yes.
Are you wonderful because you just got back from a trip to see like maybe the greatest performer of our generation?
Beyonce, you know it. You got me.
You got-
I think that's why I'm feeling good.
That's why you feeling good. Did you win maybe something special?
Oh, I'm none other than the sweet honey pit rodeo queen London day one. Flew to London, took their crown. Yes. Went for the vibes, stayed for the coronation.
Atlanta's claiming you now. So Atlanta's one and owned went to London and took the crown. That's dope. I'm happy you had a good time. I really
Thank
am.
you.
You deserve
Thank
it.
you.
But did you not think you were gonna take the crown?
Not at all. I just did it for fun.
But you're you. So
I am me.
So
but-
we just all knew. Everyone who was in your corner was like, okay, we know who's about to win.
Yeah. My best friends, they hype me up just like you do. Honestly, I'm very lucky. I have wonderful, wonderful friends, an amazing circle. God has truly blessed me. But yeah, I didn't even know. I wanted this concert to be a surprise, so I haven't really been tapped into social media when it came to Cowboy Carter. And so when we got there, my friends were like, "So we're in the pit, and you're gonna do the fashion show, the rodeo fashion show." And I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, I am the friend that if you play truth or dare, I'm doing all the dares. You don't challenge me. I'm gonna do it.
That's fair.
So,
That's
yeah.
fair. I can see that. I
Yeah.
can definitely see that. I can see
I'm not
that.
scared of much, but even if I am, it makes me want to do something even more. So yeah, like I said, I did it for the vibes, and
Did it for the vibes, yeah.
and got chosen. So and it was really really fun, and it made the experience that much better.
That's incredible. I'm happy you had a good time. I'm
Yeah.
going to see her a little later on. So
You're gonna love the show. It's amazing.
we got to see her. Like
As
I just
always, though. I didn't expect anything less.
Yes, because she maybe only has one more album after this. Maybe.
There's a lot of speculation. I feel like she said that she wasn't gonna retire after this, but
Now this one, she said she was gonna do like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. So
yeah,
Renaissance Act 1.
that's how I felt. But
But
she also said that she wasn't going nowhere. So it's just
I
I don't know. It feels very farewell, but also like it's in her bones. You know what I mean?
I like to see my legends go out on top. I really do. You got 3 lovely kids that you can just pour into. I'm one of the people. Just right out in the sunset. You billionaire. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, there's literally nothing else you have to
I
accomplish at
mean,
this
if
point.
anybody deserves the rest and the peace,
Her, right?
yeah.
You know, just I'm very big on like go out on top, get your rest in peace. You have provided us with a lifetime of memories and music. You solid. There's no other accolades, awards, anything. You got it. You checked all the boxes.
Yeah.
You're my generation's goat. Like
Mhm.
it is what yours. Just
Yeah.
but hey, if you want to keep going, I'm not gonna complain. I'll be at
Exactly.
the
We'll
rest of
be
the
right
concerts.
there.
I will be right there,
Right
right
there.
there. Yes. So we recently did a project. We had an experience. We had an
Yes. Oh
experience.
my
We
gosh.
had an experience. So for those who don't know, we did what's called a 48-hour film festival, and it sounds like exactly what it is. We get a topic. So we got a prop, we got a character, and we got a line of dialogue, and we have 48 hours. Oh, and we also got a genre. We got 48 hours to write, shoot, and edit a film that
Mhm.
has to be between 4 and 7 minutes long. So
Yeah.
we did that. So a weekend of
How long was ours?
ours was like 5:36,
Okay.
somewhere around there. So we had a weekend and we did it. And of course, you know who I had to call up to be the star. Tamara, what
And
you
I
doing?
was like, don't make me.
Yeah, don't make me do it.
I told him in I don't know how many different languages.
She told me in Ebonics, in English, in American, in Dirty South, in New
And
York Apple.
I really I really wanted to be a part of it, and I told you, like, first thought I wanted to be behind the scenes more than anything. Especially with everything that I have going on now. I've been uh, falling in love with the process of behind the scenes. Um, but circumstances, I ended up
Circumstances.
being an actor on the project, but that was still a lot of fun too.
It was, but I will say that I know. So how I planned it out was Friday. We're gonna write. Saturday we're gonna shoot. Sunday
Mhm.
do the editing. And I know you want to be really a big part about
Yeah.
Friday, but you had
And I had some other projects
you
and
had
stuff
some
going
other
on. So
projects.
yeah.
So literally we were on the phone like maybe 3 or 4 times, and I was just calling you with updates. And you did give me like several gems that I put into the writing that I think
Mhm.
made the film that much better.
Mhm.
So, you were a part of the writing. I mean, I gave you writer's
Yeah.
credit. I did.
Yes,
I
I
did.
saw that. I
Yeah.
love that.
Because
Thank
you did
you.
like it was, I mean, you definitely contributed. There were some pieces like when you're writing a story, like if it's A through E. And so I think like we were missing B and D. And then like
Mhm.
you were able to help me fill in, okay,
Mhm.
we can get from C to E through if we use this
This,
as
yeah.
so I was like, yeah. So
Mhm.
I was like, it was much appreciated.
Of
We did it
course.
was great. It was
Yeah.
fantastic. And the people mess with the single room. For you guys who don't know, we got a topic single room. And as we were writing it, I went very much so I finessed the single room and did
Mhm.
this whole thing where it's inside of her mind, the single room. And a lot of people were like, I don't know. I don't know if that single room, that's not going to be able to do it. We finessed it. It came out great.
Yes, we did finesse it, and something we talk about often is kind of like you and I will share like when we see interviews of behind the scenes of some of our favorite films. Um, they became the film that we love so much by like people kind of breaking the rules or pushing the limits. And so I love the idea of us kind of teetering that line of like, well, is this technically how I think it,
I don't know.
and I think that made it that much more fun
It
and
did.
interesting.
Yeah. Because I was feeling like I wanted to keep the idea of single room because a few of the people, and again, they all made valid points. I
Mhm.
understood all of their points.
Mhm.
But I felt like when if you open the door to it, because it could have been single room and or action. So I was
Mhm.
like, let's throw in some action. So if they said it's not, we have this as a backup. But I
Yeah.
feel like we open the door where it's just action. I feel like it made the possibility so much more in not a good way. I felt like the single room grounded us that it has to be this.
Mhm.
Because originally when I was writing the script and as director, I didn't see the scene of like you going back to the dolls playing with them.
Mhm.
I didn't see that.
Mhm.
Like I just saw the fight scene happening and then we jumped to it.
Mhm.
And it was actually when I got you on set and I saw you with the dolls and I was like, I literally got the idea of seeing Stanley come to life, like just
Mhm.
seeing you right there with the doll, Stanley come to life, and that being like the transition into your mind. And
Mhm.
then I saw the idea of like, let's do like a little fight scene to give a break. And then what ended up happening on set was, y'all broke my bow staff.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually. So my bow, I mean, it's
Cause
that's
what was the weapon that Stanley had?
they're both bow staffs.
Okay.
They are both, but Stanley has a full-on steel bow staff.
Yeah.
You had a collapsible bow staff,
It
and y'all
turned into some billy
the
clubs.
Billy now Billy clubs because
Yeah.
y'all were going at it like that y'all were fighting for real.
Mhm.
I'm so happy no one got hurt because y'all were whoo whoo
Yeah.
whoo. I said okay, all right, y'all just going. It's just not. We're not even gonna try to do slow
Going
motion.
rogue.
We just gonna hit it as
Yeah.
hard as okay. All right, okay, all right.
Yeah.
But not it.
Well, it was a lot of fun, and also, although we were testing on limits, I also trust Stanley, and I feel really good about the little bit that we did do.
Yeah, no, y'all
And
did really
just
good.
breaking the weapon was
It
crazy.
was crazy, but that provided a great like transition point for me to jump back
We
to the
used it in
dolls.
the film.
Yeah, so we interviewed. And I was like, hey, I mean, it happened. Can't cry over a broken weapon. Let's make
Yeah.
something else happen. And it came out really amazing, and I really appreciated. There was a point where we're doing the end, and it's like I know you need to be knocked down. I know you need to get hurt. I know you need to lose. We
Mm-hmm.
need that. We need that point so you can break down and cry, and we can reveal the twist of everything.
Yeah.
And it's like you were like, I ain't about to fall. And I was like, okay, understood. And I was like, there was a point of like, can you trust me real
Mhm.
quick? And you were like, okay. I said, just don't worry. I got it in post. I'm just gonna have it. I need you when the bow staff comes towards you. I need you just to and then
Yeah.
we're gonna get you out of frame.
Yeah.
Don't fall. Don't do anything like that. Don't fall. Just get out of frame, and I got you.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna show you on the ground. And you were like, okay. And you trusted me, and that part in the like when they played it, like people were like, "Oh,
Yeah,
damn,
the
man!"
reaction
The
was
reaction
great.
was crazy. So I was
Mhm.
like, okay, great shot, did well.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said it was fun. What would you think is the most fun part that you had making this film?
When all of us out there together when we were setting up shots, like just dancing and talking, and I feel like we spent a lot of time laughing. We got a whole film done in 48 hours, and we still were able to like
You had a good
enjoy
time.
ourselves. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a lot of fun. It was in the name of art. We weren't doing it for any specific reason. So I think that was like the most fun part.
Okay. Um, and when you went back and looked at the film, what's a scene or just like a moment where you were like, "This came out effing amazing"?
Uh, um, towards the end of the film, when Joy tells Loki that she just wants to see her dad, and then he says, "I'm already gone," and then we kind of see him disappear. Um, I had, the history or, what happened behind that, and kind of in the like I was in the moment, but also like, man, this would be a really great shot if he disappears and then we zoom out and then shift back to the doll.
Mhm.
And so the way that it came out, I saw it in my head, and then the way that and you guys were like feeling it. We all trusted each other. Let's get it one way, let's get it the other, and just play with it. But it came out really good, and I think that even um, while watching the film, when we saw it at the premiere, I think the audience was really receptive to that too, where they're like, oh, like it was like a light bulb moment, or
Mhm.
like a really, I don't know, like heart-wrenching moment. So I like
Mhm.
that a lot.
Yeah. I would say that in this project, just having worked with you for several years on countless projects, that was the piece that I saw growth in you. And just
Mm.
like usually with a lot of these projects, it's like, all right, here's a script. Tamara, this is who your character is. Like, obviously you do your due diligence. You put the
Mhm.
Tamara spice on it. But then once we get on set, it's like, this is the flow. This is what it is. We do the scenes. You're
Mhm.
not trying to like direct or add anything other than what's your character. But at this point, you were like, no, I feel like for the film as a whole, like this scene, we can make this happen. And I was like, okay, okay. I was like, I'm fucking with that. I'm fucking with that. Like,
Yeah.
let's do it. And I was just like, let's pull it. So I was like, okay, at that point, Caitlin, let's make sure on this scene, let's pull back the camera. Let's make it. I wanted to get very, very far away from
Mhm.
her. Give me as much playroom as I have to be able to like, make the doll and be able to get this next shot to really it's a mass
Mhm.
cut. Let
Yeah.
me match these two shots to make it feel like, oh, you see the real life joy and then the doll joy together, and there you realize that's in her head and she was one.
Yeah.
So, but I was like, look at the growth, like the little ideas. Even when we had like a point, you were like, hey, me and Stanley are working on something. Let's finish this out. And let's see how this goes with like the coordination. I'm like, okay,
More
let me pull back and
choreographing the fight
fight
scene.
scene. I was like, let
Mhm.
me pull back, and let them. They got a plan, And at this point, if I can't trust you and Stanley, after all these years
Yeah.
of working together,
Yeah.
I might as well just.
Who can you
Yeah, I
trust?
can't trust
Yeah.
nobody. So I was like, let me pull back. Let me see what they do. And then I saw what you guys did, and I was like, okay, cool. So now from this fight scene, I need like we got it. We got the opening. We got the middle fight scene. Now I just need to land it to get us back to the doll.
Yeah.
Like that's what became everything. I was like, okay, cool, fight, great, great. We got y'all screaming, angry, coordination. We didn't hit it. Now, how do we get that low moment to get us back to the dolls so we can get her back to the real twist of what's going on? Like
Yeah.
that became everything I needed. So yeah, no, it was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Mhm. Now when we go back and okay, so let me give it. So I've directed you a few times,
Mhm.
and so I just gave you the growth I've seen as you as an actress. Did you see a level of growth? Am I downsliding? Am I getting worse? Am I getting better? Like what did you see out of this
No,
film?
I definitely see growth, especially within the organization of it all. Delegation. We had a whole crew, which I hope you feel the same way, but it allows when you have each person caring about their part in the film, it makes it that much better. Like I know that it's hard to think that anyone could care about your project as much as you do, but you trust these people and you give them a task and a goal, and we're all reaching towards that same goal, but we all have the freedom and empowerment to nurture this one thing. And so when it all comes together, and so I feel like in the past where you had to worry about multiple things, you're spreading yourself thin and you can't give your all to each part of this project, this goal. You know what I mean? So I
Mm,
think that that's like the best part of watching you grow is like growing your team and all of that. So,
yeah,
and I
no,
think everybody did their thing.
they did it. Everyone,
Yes.
I like. I
Top
had
to top to bottom, left to right,
That's right.
everything. Yeah.
I mean, I had a few moments where I was just like, I could sit back and just
Mhm.
like I didn't stress at all on this set. Like I was like, that was
Nothing about it felt stressful,
nothing about it. It
which
was
is
like
so
it
crazy.
was crazy, and
Like
we
listening to the other teams at our premiere, other teams got to speak about their experience, and granted, everybody came out with their finished products and they were able to laugh about, the hardships or things that happen on set because Murphy's Law. But even in our that the one moment that you were able to think of that like what went wrong on your set, it was like it's a funny story now, and it
mm,
made the making of this film even better.
yeah, we've turned our like moment that was stressful into a Nerf gun fight,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and that's and it's
And
kind
that
of
allowed bonding between some of your
characters,
characters.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it was actually funny how like I didn't explain this on at the premiere, but Um, I already knew like, well, first of all, that Friday I had a lot to do. I
Mhm.
had, me and my mom went to Centers. It was like a whole thing. Then I had to like
Nice.
go rush over to like get all the topics and everything.
Yeah.
And then, I'm writing it for super long. Then I wake up, we're ready to shoot the next day. And I'm like, I don't know how the editing's gonna go. I don't know how long it's gonna take me. So when our mishap happened,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we're gonna be pushed back for an hour. We can't shoot anything. So it's like we're starting later. I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna know how much sleep I'm gonna be able to get for from the end of the night tomorrow.
No sleep was had.
No, but so I was like, I'm just. They were all good. We had snacks. I just took a nap. I just
Yeah.
went right. I ran right now. I was like, let me take this hour nap. Let them do what they need to do. So when it is time to get rolling, I'm fresh Enoch. And then when I need to get to editing, I'm still fresh Enoch because at least I got this little recharge. So it was like, but again, I was like, all right, I'll take a nap. We'll make
Yeah.
it. We'll figure it out. The rain held up because we thought it was gonna be raining in this outside parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was like a big
Oh
thing.
yeah, that was
That
great.
was
Yeah,
the
it was
rain
nice.
because we had like an indoor parking lot. We think that we could have used
Mm.
maybe, or we would have found one. But
Oh, over there?
in that, we had that one where it was
Mhm.
like gonna pay $50 per car, which means we were all about to pack into one car. Like
Oh, okay, got you.
and then we had
At
another
the stadium.
we had another one that was like maybe 15 minutes away that we could have
Mhm.
went that was gonna be underground. Then I know there's like MARTA station, so we would have if it would have been raining, we would have found one of those, but it just would have been the rain with the
It
sound,
would have
and
been
it
the
it,
same,
it
yeah.
would have it wouldn't have been great. So it rain held up. That was God doing his big one on that one because
Yeah.
it was a whole thing. Okay, so what was something about this set that or this movie that just I don't know, something that surprised you, shocked you, that you didn't know that we were capable of, you were capable of?
Mhm. With the fight scene, I really like Stanley and Stanley who plays Low Key Masterson, one of my favorite scene partners. He and we were flowing. Um, we were really flowing. I mean, Brian was helping us a lot when it came to like using the weapons and stuff. But then once we started to flow, we were like, okay, and this feels good, and da, da. That's really how we broke your weapon because we just kept like going over and over and over again, and but that kind of surprised me how those movements because I had been working on stunts myself. I've done a couple of films
Mhm.
in the past, I would say like 2 years that required me to have some extent of stunt training. And so, those movements are starting to become more like fluid in my body as as opposed to before where I would kind of stiffen up or be nervous.
Mm.
So that kind of surprised me. Like it was looking good. Some of it made the cut, some of it didn't. But when we were just kind of trying to figure out the moves, we just would like it was like dancing. We were like
Mm.
dancing. Yeah.
I mean, martial arts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
what you're telling me is that you need me to write an action film for you.
I
Is
would
that what
not
you're
be
telling me?
opposed.
That's okay.
I'm serious.
Okay, because you know me, say less, be like, all right, Tamara, I got a script for you next month, and you'd be like, okay, when I get back from wherever Carmen
Don't
San Diego is traveling to this week, you know.
Yeah.
Okay,
That
okay,
is normally how the conversation goes. Like,
gotcha.
yeah, when I get back from Greece,
Yeah,
I'll be
exactly.
ready.
But our schedules have just always magically found some way to align. Like
Yeah.
anytime you tell me that you're gonna go somewhere for like a week or two, it's like that's usually a week or two I'm slammed.
Yeah.
I don't even dream about reaching out to you. It
Yeah.
would be if I'm reaching out to you, be like, hey girl, how you doing? Just checking in. We need to get some food. Um, but yeah, nah. This one came out really great. It's really dope. I printed out like the poster. That's been my new thing. I'm printing out posters and I put them like I get like this nice little frame that I'm doing for all my projects. But shout out to
Okay,
Brian.
nice.
Brian, like he took the dolls and like our set design. Shout out to
Mhm.
Coruscant for the set design,
Yeah.
and he made them put them together like this really nice creative thing. And I was like,
Mhm.
he took a picture. I was like, that's the movie poster.
Oh,
Yeah, he
yeah.
did that. I was like, that's great. Because I
Yeah.
wasn't even thinking of some. I wasn't thinking about movie poster at the time. I might have just taken clips from the actual
Mhm.
film and tried to
Yeah.
do something in Photoshop. But like that one, I was like, okay, this is a great picture. Let me do photographer things,
Yeah.
heighten it up, throw some names on there, and it was like that one came out
Throw
great.
some names on it.
Throw some names on it. So yeah, I'm gonna because now that the 48 hour film festival, I feel so strong about this project. I'm gonna um I'm gonna do a few things. Like there's a few things I want to recut.
Mhm.
But most it's like 99% gonna stay the same. And I'm gonna just enter it into a few other film festivals as a short. I feel like it's a very strong film.
I
That
agree.
yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and make that happen. Because whew, child, I just entered into the read files into 8 of them. 8 of them.
Hey.
So we'll see. That's why read files not dropping until November because I gotta wait for it to play out through those.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I'm entering this one because if I did drop this one, I probably would drop this one like in December.
Mhm.
No, it wouldn't be December because 9 episodes of read files. I might drop this like February. Yeah,
Okay.
because we'll talk off camera about it. But
Yeah.
Read Files 9 episode run
Yeah.
that it has to go through. So yeah, yeah. But it was really great doing like this project with you and
I agree.
just I don't know, and then seeing the team and everyone kind of gel
I
and stuff.
loved it.
I
Yeah.
loved
If
it.
anything, we definitely learned that we can do it.
We can do it and do something very high quality
Mhm.
with that emotionally resonates with the audience in such a short amount of time. So imagine if we actually, we can take our time with it. We don't,
Yeah.
we have multiple days. I'm like, okay. So I'm actually super excited about what's coming next. Like so many,
Me
like,
too.
yeah. So we got some stuff that we're gonna be talking. We're gonna be talking. We're
Yes. I
gonna be
love it. I
talking.
love it.
So, it's always a pleasure working with you.
Of
Again, just get
course. You
ready,
know how I feel.
you just we got to do at least 3 projects a year, regardless where we get at.
Right.
So it's just,
Right.
we're gonna keep rocking and rolling.
Keep pumping them out.
Okay, keep pumping it out. So get ready for them to get sick of us. Then
Prepared to be sick of
when
me.
they see starring Tamara, they already know it's gonna be by Enoch gonna be somewhere. When they see by Enoch, they already know it's gonna be Tamara somewhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, I appreciate you. I love you to death.
Oh my goodness. I feel the same way. So blessed.
So blessed.
Thank you.
Before we get teary eyed, we're just gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I appreciate, she at this point, you might as well go ahead and be my co-host on Over the Shoulder. But as you know, what we gotta do, we gotta like, we gotta subscribe, we gotta comment, we gotta share. What project have I worked on? Do you want to see somebody talk about? Because I'll bring them on there. We could talk and discuss the process. I enjoy discussing the process. Over the shoulder is one of my favorite things that I do. Just being able to make it all happen. So, as you know, as I always say on this, that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.